So you won't believe me, but what happened on May 31st, 2025 didn't just change the history of Paris Saint-Germain. It shook the entire world of football. For over a decade, people laughed at their Champions League obsession. They mocked the money, mocked the superstars, mocked the failures. But across one single season, PSG didn't just prove everyone wrong. They rewrote European football history in the most brutal way possible. Historic first UCL title. PSG finally won their first ever UEFA Champions League on May 31st, 2025, destroying Inter Milan 5-0 in the final, the biggest margin in any Champions League or European Cup final ever. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement. The moment PSG fans had been waiting for since the beginning of their modern era. For a club that had spent years choking on the biggest stage, this felt like breaking a curse. PSG dominated Inter Milan from start to finish. They pressed like they were the ones losing the final. One perfect example was future Ballon d'Or winner Ousmane Dembélé. Qatari ownership and long-term ambition. But wait a minute. How did PSG pull off a season like this after being eliminated by Borussia Dortmund just a year earlier? Everything traces back to 2011, when Qatar Sports Investments took over the club. The mission was simple: turn PSG into a global powerhouse. Billions were spent. Stars came and went, but the one goal, the Champions League, always slipped away. The 2025 victory wasn't just a trophy. It was the culmination of a 14-year journey, a journey filled with ups and downs, especially on the European stage. In that moment, QSI proved their project wasn't just about money. It was a long-term vision finally realized. Tactical shift under Luis Enrique. The single most decisive move PSG made was hiring a new coach, Luis Enrique. Everything changed when Enrique arrived. Instead of the old Galactico approach, stacking expensive superstars, he built a real team. Disciplined, tactical, structured. In the final, PSG didn't rely on individual brilliance. They controlled the tempo, pressed intelligently, defended together, and suffocated Inter from the first minute. It was a wake-up call for every club dreaming of winning the Champions League, because even if a team could match PSG's tactical brilliance, they still had to face PSG's world-class players, each of them capable of turning a match upside down on their own. Enrique didn't just coach PSG, he reinvented them. Breakout of the new generation. The final wasn't won by megastars, it was won by kids. 19-year-old Désiré Doué scored twice and added an assist. Kvaratskhelia, just 24, also found the net. And Seny Mayulu, another young talent, came off the bench to score the fifth. This wasn't PSG buying success. This was PSG building it. A new identity built around youth, energy, and long-term development. Completing a treble. And as if winning the Champions League wasn't enough, this victory completed the continental treble: Ligue 1, Coupe de France, Champions League. Not even Real Madrid has achieved a treble in their storied history of domestic and international success. Only a handful of teams in football history have done it, and none of them were French. That made this season even more special for PSG fans. It cemented the 2024-25 campaign as one of the most dominant in modern football. This wasn't just a great season. It was a historic one, a momentous final. Now let's talk about the most dominant Champions League final ever. Honestly, the goals tell the whole story. Hakimi, Doué, Kvaratskhelia, Mayulu. But the emotions told an even bigger story. The way Luis Enrique jumped up and down on the sideline, the way the stadium exploded at full time, the way the players celebrated like a massive weight had finally been lifted off an entire city. For years, people said PSG were pretenders, a rich club with no soul, a team of individuals, not a collective. Well, safe to say that narrative died in 2025. Media around the world agreed. This was the vindication of the PSG project, the moment the club evolved from a running joke into a respected European powerhouse. This success didn't come from money alone. It came from structure, youth, identity, finally coming together. So when PSG finally lifted that trophy, it didn't just mark a win, it marked the end of a football myth. The myth that PSG couldn't do it. The myth that they would always fail. Because on that night, PSG didn't just become champions, they became legendary.